Hi, I'm Michael Knight from MyPro along with Stacy Alfar. Today's exercise tutorial, the kettlebell two-hand swing. We're going to keep it very simple. We're going to keep it simple because I want you to get the bases done. The kettlebell swing is the foundation of moving forward in all kettlebell exercises. And we're going to do this for a long period of time over a large scope of my circuit tutorials. So get a hold of it, understand it, and live it. And I'm going to make sure that you understand what we're doing with here. First of all, I'm going to take a second just to guide you on what tool to use. So what I'm going to tell you, rule number one, and I've tried to implant this into everybody's head that's come through my doors or people I've talked to. You won't hear this too much. The lighter the kettlebell, the more dangerous. So if you're working out with me and you do something wrong, I'm going to give you a heavier one. If I'm mad at you, I'm trying to make you a better person because usually you're too strong for it. So what I mean by that, let's look at Stacy. She's very strong. She's going to pick up what a normal girl, perhaps yourself, will pick up. So go ahead and pick that up, Stacy. She's going to pick it up and she's going to lift it with her arms. The kettlebell is to be moved with your hips. If you can do this with a kettlebell, it's too light. If you can hold it out there, it's too light. Put it down. Okay? So now, just to make a point, Stacy, we need to get a 35. Go ahead and try to pick them to do the same thing. So she is going to struggle. Yeah. So now you saw her struggle. She could probably do it, but it could hurt. So that is her working weight. The problem is, this is the weight that I see guys who are 6 foot tall, 220 pounds, and really built in magazines. So what happens is someone like you walks in the gym and says, well, I'm going to try the kettlebell. So you see, well, that muscular guy in the magazine, he had the 35. I can't use that. So I'm going to go back to the 26, which is the girl's weight, even grandma's weight. Let's get smart. If we're going to put something in our hand, please understand how to use it. And I'm going to do the best of my ability, working with Stacy, to show you the simplest way to get there. The kettlebell two-hand swing. First thing we're going to do is it's called the kettlebell sumo deadlift. All I want to do is see her lift the object up, in this term, the kettlebell, without using her arms. Okay, remember, the kettlebell is going to be moved with your hips. Your hands are just used as hooks. So the way we're going to have to do this is that Stacy and I are going to put our hands on our hips. So I want to keep her head looking forward. She knows the kettlebell is below her feet. We're going to push on her hips, and as she does, she's going to push her hips back until she feels for that kettlebell. When she feels with it, she's going to stand up and just stay on attention. Good. Now, she's going to relax her shoulders, and to make sure she's tight, what do? Oh yeah, tough love. Good. So I'm squeezing to make sure, because this right here is the top of a kettlebell swing. When you swing, that's how tight your hips, quads, and everything squeeze. If it doesn't, we're going to run into problems because the kettlebells are going to get bigger. So go ahead and set that down, Stace. So we're going to do that one more time. Okay, now, remember hips, and practice this before you do anything. Okay? So, put your hands in your hip flexors, push back, sit back into your hips. She's going to feel for the top of the kettlebell. And what she does, she's going to feel up, come on up, and flex. She's going to squeeze, everything's tight, and she's ready to go into the next version of the kettlebell swing. Go ahead and set that down. Good. So at this point, it's that first kettlebell swing. Okay, we're going to set up out in front. Go ahead. We usually set about 6 or 8 inches behind. So, first thing I want to do is to get on top of that push-up again. And why is that important? Because when Stacy comes up and does her first swing, that is going to be the top of the swing. She's here. She's in the top of a push-up. My hands are out there. So if I was going to swing, it's going to come chest height, and I'm going to be flexing, and I'm going to be squeezing, just as she's in push-up position. Okay, stand up. Okay, so reaching and learning how to set up. So I'm going to set the kettlebell up probably 6 to 8 inches out in front, and I'm going to come back, and it's like we've been both taught the same way, so it's not afraid to share, is the movement of, come at me, bro. You want some of this? Try it, Stace.
Come at me, bro.
It's a little weak. But anyways, we want to pull the shoulder blades back. We don't want to come here, and I'll show you why. So go ahead and just roll your shoulders forward, Stacy, like you're going to pick it up. Way out there. Grab the kettlebell, like she's going to set up. She's unlocked the shoulder joint. She's got full extension back here. So if she was to stand up and she stood up, look at the position she is in. This is not an athletic position, but if I take her shoulders back, that's gonna be the top. So I wanna pull back there. So come here, she's gonna be that come at me bro kind of move. Bring the hands in front, so she's retract her shoulder blades, pinch them, almost like you're pinching your shoulder blades together. Pinch back and kind of reach for it and look for it and feel for it. From there, good, that's gonna be setup one. Hands are on the kettlebell. Her hamstrings are loaded. It's tight all the way back, all the way up her hips to her glutes, all the way down to the floor. She's leaning and she's loading, okay? So stand up for a second. Just to reiterate what we just said and go over it again, we're gonna put her in position one. So if you were in a magazine, you were seeing, this is picture A. So go ahead, set yourself up. She's gonna pull the shoulder blades down. She's gonna push her hips back, reach the hands out in front, feeling for the kettlebell. She's loaded and she's ready for action. That's point A. Okay, now she's gonna stand up. Let's pretend we're taking a photo shoot right now. Point B, with an imaginary kettlebell. So just put your hands on the kettlebell, Stacy, if you will, okay? Where do I want it to go? On that first swing from point A, picture B would be, okay, I'm the quarterback and I want it in my hands. Okay, stand up. So, the first time she swings, I want it to come up to the quarterback, come chest height, and down to the ground. So again, point A, ground. Point B, center of the football team. Picture 3, top of the push-up, okay? And when I see top of the push-up, it should be shoulder, elbow, wrist, bottom of the kettlebell. Remember that light kettlebell? We don't want to see that. Everything is an extension of your shoulders to your fingertips to the bottom of the kettlebell and back down. We're gonna go through it the first time. Go ahead, Stace. Okay, just gonna reach back, hinge on the quarterback, pop it, and down, and set it back down. Okay? So again, you saw the force, she just didn't play with it. Okay, so let's do it again, Stace. All right, again, that first one's gonna load hard, don't play with it, get it back to the quarterback, pop it, press height, and put it back down. Good. And I'm gonna jump backwards for 1 minute. Grab that vintage swing weight. Remember the vintage series that we went through? Why did he do that? Go ahead, reach back and drive it up and bring it down. Good, set down. Is there any difference between the hip movement of what you just did with the vintage swing as opposed to the kettlebell? No. This becomes a metabolic tool. This is actually my treadmill in the gym. I can control this movement, I can control her breathing, and I can keep her safe as she builds stamina and strength in my training facility. Here, I don't want to practice with this. I want to make sure everything's in a line before I move on to the kettlebell. That's the difference between what we do and everybody else does. They only have this tool. We have that one. And if I had to practice with all my people on this, it would have been a nightmare. And I'm being honest with you. Have a tool that gets you to progress from point A to point B, okay? So now we're gonna go right back to it, and now we're gonna put Stacy to work. So remember I said, it's a 35-pound kettlebell. I want her to go through the progression, see if there's anything different. I've worked with Stacy for quite a while. We're now gonna go to the 24 kilo. Usually a 20 or 24 kilo for the guys is the correct starting weight. This is a 24 kilo, which is 53 pounds. Stacy, go ahead. She'll load it up. She's gonna give me 5 swings, and I want you to know where each of those swings go. Notice the same thing. Watch her hips pop, the squeeze. Everything that progressed through the vintage is now showing up in the kettlebell. That's why we did it. Go ahead. Hips are loaded. Look where the kettlebell's going. Same spot, hiking it to the quarterback. Chin's up, horizontal. She sets it down softly and relaxes. Moving up. That's 24. Don't be afraid of weights. Big weights do not make you big, ladies. They just challenge you to get you stronger and more fit. This is now a 28 kilo kettlebell, which averages 62 pounds. Go ahead, Stace. She loads, same thing. Nothing's gonna change. Watch the hip drive. Squeezing, flexing, chest height, top of the push-up. Top of the push-up. Top of the push-up. Good, set down. I could sit here and demonstrate. At my size, it doesn't make sense because you're not going to get anything out of it. This is a female trainer, one of the best that I've ever been around. Very capable of doing a lot more, which she will do one more time, just so we progress. And this will be the last one. So she's going to load it up the same way. Now remember, she's coming loaded because that first one has to come chest high or almost to it. So now she's really focused. Go ahead.
Tell them how much weight it is too.
This is 71 pounds, 32 kilos. And she'll load. Same thing. Hips are loaded back here. The hamstrings are tight. That's what I mean by loaded. It's ready to go. She pulls. Look at the height. Good. And side down. Good. Now all that was driven from her hips. Hips and butt. Hips and butt. So when she gives me her hand, go ahead, grab my hand. Her hand's relaxed. Look at her fingers. This is the grip. This is the grip that I want on the kettlebell. Now grip it like most people do. This is not what I want to see. This is not a grip. This is hanging on for dear life. This is relaxed. Don't hang on for dear life. And notice yourself in the mirror, because the first time you do swings, your heart rate's going to be up in your throat. Relax, relax, relax. Vintage series first. Vintage swing first. Then we move on to the kettlebell, and then we start getting better with my pro and the circuits that are coming your way. I'm Michael Knight. This is Stacy Alfar. We'll see you soon.
Bye.